Build crafting is easily one of the more complicated parts of League. There are tons of factors to consider when making a build. Gold efficiency, power spikes, and stats. Some champions in League can have a variety of builds thanks to their versatile kits. Cho'Gath is one of these versatile champions. You can build him tank, bruiser, AP support, top, mid, jungle, or APC. He can build a variety of mythics from Heartsteel to Luden's Tempest. But today I want to talk about one mythic for Cho'Gath in particular, Liandry's Anguish. Most of the time when you go AP Cho, it's either a Rod of Ages or Luden's Tempest. The first is for scaling and the latter is for burst damage. But Liandry's rarely gets mentioned, even though it's shown to be super effective on champs like Lilia and Brand. So in today's video, we're going to discuss whether it's worth building Liandry's Anguish on Cho'Gath. For those who just want a quick answer without any explanation, the answer is yes, but only against very high HP or highly mobile champions. Luden's Tempest is better for AP Cho'Gath 90% of the time. If you want the explanation, watch on. First, let's discuss the stats on Liandry's by comparing it to Luden's Tempest. It has similar stats to Luden's. The only difference is that Luden's has +6 magic penetration on it. That's it for the stats, really. Now let's look at their passives. We can see right away that they are fundamentally different. Luden's is better for a big burst of damage, offering movement speed after activating its passive and giving an additional 5 magic pen from its mythic passive. Liandry's is damage over time oriented with its 2 burn passives highly focused on enemy percentage max HP. Its mythic passive gives ability haste to encourage spell usage to apply consistent burn damage. As you'd expect, on a character like Cho'Gath, who has insane AP scaling on his abilities, Luden's Tempest is usually the better pick for AP Cho'Gath. It turns his Q ability into a knock-up nuke capable of deleting squishies from the game. The movement speed it grants also lets Cho'Gath move in to use his other abilities as well, or to run away if the ambush goes badly. Overall, it outperforms Liandry's on squishy targets since Liandry's maximum percentage HP burn doesn't do very much against them. Liandry's only outperforms Luden's when against very high HP targets. The percentage max HP damage combined with his E skill that also does percentage max HP damage works great to wear down enemy tanks. It provides better sustained damage in teamfights, particularly in poking and zone control, as the burn damage would chip them down and force even the tankiest targets to retreat for HP. This is especially useful against region tanks, since the damage over time prevents Warmog's armor from activating. You could say that Luden's Tempest is more offensive oriented, focusing on getting solo picks by sheer burst damage, while Liandry's is more defensive, zoning off enemies with the threat of burning them alive. However, the most important part of Liandry's Anguish is that it helps Cho with one of his greatest weaknesses, highly mobile champions. Cho'Gath suffers greatly against highly mobile champions that can evade his Q knockup and kite him. Skirmishers such as Riven, Lilia, and Yone are some examples. They are very good at dodging attacks and counter-attacking when your abilities are down. Usually you can land a hit with your W or E on them, but most of the time they'll just escape. This can make it difficult to deal consistent amounts of damage to them. But with Liandry's, all you have to do is hit them once. One hit from any of Cho'Gath's abilities and they'll be taking damage from you even as they dash around. This helps to counter their skirmishing ways of fighting. There are other benefits to Liandry's as well. Maxing E first on Cho'Gath with Liandry's is an excellent way of melting melee champions. The combined burn damage is fully capable of chunking most fighters and bruisers, not to mention you can just run away after hitting them and still hurt them for a sizable chunk. The burn is also very nice when it comes to executing champions with your R. Sometimes champion HP increases through random bullshit happening and you miss the execute. But the burn can help chunk down their HP to stay below the execute range. Even if you don't get the execute because of even more random bullshit, they still die from the burn anyways. Overall, it's a good kill secure function. And that's pretty much it. Liandry's Anguish is good against high HP teams and skirmisher heavy comps. Luden's Tempest is good for everything else. And that's all for today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel, so consider doing so if you're interested. I'll catch you guys later. Rock Tofu, signing off.